The only thought that I have so far is I'm so sick of the evil stepmother trope. I want a good reason, a great reason for why she picked this specific trope. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I am starting a new vlog. It's Monday. Technically, this is kind of a continuation of what I did last week. That's really part 1 and this is part 2. And it's a little bit different from what I normally do. I'm trying to read as much as possible before my next university semester starts, which my next university semester starts now in roughly a week. It's coming up quick and I really want to read as much as possible. I just got out of a really awful semester, a summer semester. It was horrific. It was so bad, so stressful. I barely had any time to read. No rest, no relaxation, just 100% stress. And so I'm kind of trying to reset and recover and relax. And the way that I relax the most is by reading. So I'm trying to get a little bit ahead in reading right now and see how much I can possibly read before my next semester starts. And then hopefully I can finish all the books that I'm behind on and all the books that I have to finish, because it is kind of a little bit of a laundry list of books that I want to read and books that I theoretically should have already finished by now, but I'm lagging on. I've got my Kindle here to start off with some quick stats of where I am. So you've got a point of reference for where I'm starting and how much I actually accomplished by the end of this week. I currently am reading actively Dark Skies and Dark Shores by Danielle L. Jensen. This is a tandem read of these books. I'll put the description on the screen real quick for Dark Skies, and then I will put the description on the screen for Dark Shores. Pause it if you want to read it, because I'm just going to flash it real quick, as you've already seen. And with Dark Skies, I am 47% of the way through, and with Dark Shores, I am 40% of the way through. I'm very passively reading Harry Potter y la piedra filosofal. That's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in Spanish. And I'm 56% of the way through with that. But like I said, very, very, very passive. That's like if I truly am in a rut and I really don't want to read anything else, then I'll read that. Or if I'm feeling really motivated to learn Spanish, or if I had a really good day with learning Spanish, I learn every day on Duolingo and also on Busuu and Quizlet for vocab and some other things. Like I've got things that I do every day. And so if I've had a really good session with those things and I'm feeling really motivated, maybe I might read like a chapter or something. But honestly, I don't read it that much. Then I've borrowed Legendborn by Tracy Dion. That was one of my pulls for my August TBR reads. So I'm waiting until August starts, but I didn't want anyone to take it before, like at the library, and borrow it. So I just borrowed it now because I have a feeling I'll be able to read it pretty quickly. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm like jinxing myself right now, but I do have a feeling I'll be able to read it pretty quickly. I don't think is that long. I think it was like 300 pages, give or take, maybe 400, but it kind of seems like a quick read. It's young adult, but from what I've read, it kind of seems like it's young adult. So I don't think it should be too hard. And that's everything that I have on my Kindle. And then on my phone, on Libby, I have audiobooks for Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, which I'm hoping I'll be able to start tonight. I always listen to audiobooks before I go to sleep for a little bit, or if I've got trouble sleeping, then I'll listen to them. And honestly, I have trouble sleeping most nights. I'm a little bit of an insomniac, so I do tend to go through audiobooks pretty quickly. And that one is only 10 hours, I believe, so it's very, very, very quick. And then I thought I had something else in Libby in my library, but I'm not sure. I guess not. I do know that my second read for August for my TBR, The Gunslinger, I actually got notified. I had put it on hold and I got notified that it was available to me, but I don't want to start it yet because I'm kind of balancing a lot of other books and it's not August yet, and I really do want to wait until August and just be really official with the whole TBR challenge kind of thing. So I said to give it to me 7 days or later, depending on if somebody else borrows it or not, but I just checked and nobody's borrowed it still. And so I believe I said that maybe 2 days ago. So I've got roughly 5 days left unless somebody else borrows it. Then I've got 5 days before Libby gives it to me, and then I will start The Gunslinger. So I might be starting that also for this challenge. That's by Stephen King, by the way. And I think that's everything. I also, in the last vlog, in like part 1 of this challenge, if you saw it, I really would like to read the Mediator series. I'll put book 1 on the screen so you can see it, and I'll put the description for book 1. That is a series that I read when I was in middle school, high school, give or take, and I've read it probably 4 times. I've read it in German when I was learning German. I've read it in English. I thought about reading it in Spanish, but I think I'm just gonna read it in English again. But I really want to read it so bad. I mentioned it on my channel here when I was talking about all of the 5-star reads I've ever read in my entire life, and I ranked them, like tier ranking them. And in that video, which I'll link up here so that you can view it if you want to, I mentioned the Mediator series. And since that video, I cannot even express to you how much I've had a craving for that book. Like a craving like no other craving I've ever had. And I'm really trying to tamper it down, which is why last week I mentioned I really wanted to read it, but I didn't actually start it last week because I was trying to finish Just for the Summer and Iron Flame and Dark Skies and Dark Shores and everything else. And so I just pushed it to the side, and I was actually able to, which I'm really proud of myself. But it just keeps bubbling back up and it's not going away, and I just want to read it so bad. So I think I'm really going to try to finish Dark Skies and Dark Shores. And the second I am finished with Dark Skies and Dark Shores, I'm going to start the Mediator series from book 1 in English. I am still working and I still have things to do, and my friend is visiting from Mexico and she's only here for a week and a half. And so I want to spend time with her while she's here. And yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit stressful. I think that's everything that I'm currently trying to read, thinking about reading, putting on hold in the library, etc., etc. I will just take you along. I will give you updates just to let you know what progress I'm making and what my general thoughts are. For any more in-depth thoughts, you should check out my monthly recaps when I finish my books, because that's when I really go in depth and I have like an actual rating system and everything, and I'll explain my thoughts much more and my feelings much more. For this vlog, because I don't want it to be super, super long, then I'm really just going to briefly touch on any big thoughts or big feelings while I'm reading the books. And it'll kind of just be more clips and short updates in between. And then for today, technically this has already happened, but I'm just gonna put it after this. But I went to the library with my friend, and you can check out one of the biggest libraries in Munich, which is a city that is kind of nearby to us. And yeah, I visited it today with my friend, and we went, of course, to the bookstore. We're both big readers, and it was so amazing. I love that bookstore so much. They had so much stuff, and I did not buy anything. I was shocked, but I didn't buy any books. I bought a little book bag, which you'll see in a little bit in the clips, but I didn't buy any books, which was really a shocker. That's one of the only times in my entire life I've been able to enter into a bookstore and come out with 0 books. That is almost unheard of in my life, but you can definitely look at the bookstore, check it out. There were the most beautiful books ever. And also Once Upon a Broken Heart, which again, as I mentioned, that's a book that I want to read. And I saw the physical book versions of it, and they're so beautiful. And they had the 2 different versions. There's like the darker version, which I think maybe might be the American cover. And then there's the really colorful, almost like candy kind of version, which I prefer. I think it looks really cool. I actually do really prefer darker versions in general, but this cover just looks like so much fun. And I feel like it really fits the series well. I've not read it yet, but I know who Jax is because I read the Caraval trilogy. And so I don't know, I feel like I know him well enough, and I feel like it fits him in a kind of ironic way, and I just love it. And I love that cover. I think it's so beautiful. And they had both of them, and I had both of them in my hands, and I was like, should I buy one? But I didn't. I will put all the videos after of our entire day in Munich and the bookstore and everything. And then my friend, she's really into manga, which I kind of am, but I don't want to read it in German, and they only had it in German. Like, honestly, I'd rather just read it in Japanese than in German. And they didn't have anything in Japanese, anything in English. It was just in German. And I also bought a bag there. I bought a bag at Hugendubel, like a tiny book bag, and then I bought like a big kind of canvas bag at Neo Tokyo. So I don't know why I just went ham on the bags today. I'm not even a big bag person, but I just loved both of these bags, and they're also both black and white. It was like a theme today for me, and I don't know why. But I think that they look really cute together, and I'm so excited to pack my books away safely in my book bag and then put them in my black and white Neo Tokyo bag. I just think it looks so cool together. It's definitely a vibe, and I love it. Anyways, that is everything. I will see you in my next update on Tuesday. So it is Tuesday, and I want to give you a quick update on what I've been reading, because I did actually get quite a bit done yesterday. I'm quite proud of myself. First of all, I have literally chapter 1 of The Mediator pulled up because I thought maybe I would start it yesterday, and then I decided not to, but I do have it. It's on my Kindle. I have the ebook version, and I would like to start it soon. It says I'm already 2% of the way finished, but that was just all of the stuff that you already have at the beginning, like publisher information, and then the table of contents, and any other, I don't know, promotional content that they want to put up there. So I'm not actually any percent of the way through, even though it says 2%. But what I am a little bit of the way through is I'm now officially over 50% finished with Dark Skies and Dark Shores. I'm 50% of the way finished with Dark Skies and 52% of the way finished with Dark Shores. And I'm reading the Tandem reading guide, which, as always, I will link below in the description if you want to check it out. That's that on my Kindle. But also, I started reading Once Upon a Broken Heart, or listening. Can you see my cat's tail? That's fish. I started listening to Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber last night, and I'm now officially 11% of the way through with it. And I know that sounds like a lot, and it sounds like I should have a lot of thoughts on it already, but honestly, I don't. And I don't really know why. It feels like it's still just setting the scene. And I kind of feel like Stephanie Garber, for how short her books are, she really does set the scene and build the foundation a lot. Like a lot. I feel like the first, sometimes even 20% of her books is purely just setting the scene and building the foundation and everything, and not actually really getting into it. Like, we definitely started off with some action in this book for sure, but I just feel like, I don't know, I just can't really form opinions on anyone yet because I just don't really know them very well yet. And I feel like there's other books where you only have to get through like 5% of the book before you really feel connected to the characters. I'm not really sure what it is, but I just feel like with Stephanie Garber, that's always how it is. It takes me a little bit of time to really get into it. And then once I do, I'm like so hooked in, I'm so obsessed. And I feel like that's going to happen with this book because I'm already enjoying it. And I just think it's only going to go up from here. I hope. I don't know. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. But I'm very excited to read it. And like I said, I'm enjoying it so far. I really don't have that many thoughts or feelings on it at this point in time. The only thought that I have so far is I'm so sick of the evil stepmother trope. Like, not even necessarily evil, but just like toxic stepmother, rude stepmother, mean stepmother, like abandoning kind of stepmother, any of that, where the stepmom either is just rude to the child, or she just doesn't really care about the child and ignores the child, or if she flat out is evil, thinking like Cinderella kind of stuff. Like, I'm so sick of that trope. I just hate it so much. And I feel like it's always that. And it's so rarely, I don't think I personally have ever read a book where the stepmom was actually nice. There has to be something. Like, if you know of anything, let me know in the comments below, because there's gotta be books out there where the stepmom actually like progresses the plot and is not an antagonist, but is almost even a protagonist. I would really enjoy hearing about a book like that and reading a book like that every once in a while. I just feel like in almost every single fairy tale, in almost every single everything, even movies, TV shows, etc., like Disney, it's such a joke that like in Disney, your parents die and then you're left with a step parent who's awful to you. Or I feel like specifically in fairy tales, it's always the mom dies when the protagonist is a kid, then the dad gets remarried, and then shortly after getting remarried, he dies, and then all of a sudden the stepmom is psychotic and evil and whatever. It's always that. And I'm so sick of it. It's a bit boring, I guess. Like, it's just, when I read a book and then that's the trope, that's always just like, ugh, really? Like, that's what we're going with? That's the trope? But I do really like Stephanie Garber, so I'm kind of hoping there's a point to this. I'm hoping that there's a good reason, not just a reason. I was about to say there's a reason for it, but I don't want that. I want a good reason for it, a great reason for why she picked this specific trope. I'm withholding any judgment. Well, I'm withholding much judgment about this trope and everything until I continue reading the story or listening to it, because it is an audiobook, and we'll see. Yeah, but the audiobook is only 10 hours and I'm already 11% of the way through, so I'm already more than 1 hour through with it. Like Iron Flame, I feel like it took me an entire week to get through 11% of that book, because that audiobook was 28 hours long, and I'm still not even finished with it. Like, I still have to find it somewhere. I have no idea where. That's really not my priority right now. I'm just going to focus on what I currently have and what's expiring soon, which is literally everything. I feel like I'm getting notifications up the wahoo right now about all of my current holds and everything that I'm currently reading or listening to expiring soon. And it's putting me in a little bit of a panic, stressful state. And so I'm really like trying to finish it, which is why I listened to so much of Once Upon a Broken Heart yesterday, because I had to. Like, really, it's going to be returned back in, I think, maybe 3 days. And again, I'm already 11% of the way through, and it felt like nothing. It was literally zero effort. And so I feel like I should have no issue finishing it, but I don't know. You can never be too sure. So we'll see. yesterday. There's like this disease in Dark Skies called the Blight, and it's literally zombies. Very, very, very cringy, the beginning. Like, so cringy to the point where I actually even thought, maybe I shouldn't read this. Maybe I should just stop. Like, maybe this was a mistake. But I decided to push through because I was flying through the book, literally. It was like every time I'd blink, I'd be like 5% further in the book. That is my least favorite trope. It's my least favorite age gap. I finished that book in a single day.